Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman from Wisconsin, for what purposes does the gentleman seek
Move
recognition?
to strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I think we ought to step back from the political rhetoric and ask exactly what this contempt citation deals with. And I'm going to try to use my time to do that. First and foremost, and most concerning to every American, or at least it should be, is the fact that they want an unredacted report that includes information on grand jury testimony. The committee, by making this insistence and issuing this subpoena, is telling the Attorney General of the United States to commit a crime, because it's a crime for anybody to disclose grand jury material to anybody else. That includes the Attorney General, it includes the prosecutors in the Justice Department, it includes the witnesses who have been subpoenaed and have testified before the grand jury. It means everybody. And if the grand jury system is to work, and remember, witnesses can't even bring their attorneys into a grand jury, then the secrecy is going to have to be maintained. Now, all of us know that it's really impossible for the people who work on this Capitol Hill to keep a secret. If there is an unredacted version, completely unredacted version, including the grand jury testimony, which is unredacted, it'll be on the front page of every newspaper in the country within 48 hours and talked about incessantly on the cable news shows, whether you watch Fox News or whether you watch MSNBC. Now, I think it is absolutely shocking that the majority of this committee is going to ask the chief law enforcement officer of the United States to commit a crime. Shocking. And there are no exceptions to what is to be disclosed in this unredacted version. That includes the grand jury testimony. And by citing the Attorney General of the United States for contempt of Congress, for saying, I'm standing up for the law, I am not going to break the law by complying with that part of your subpoena, shows an overreach on the part of the majority. If we are to be a government of laws and not of men or people, then we have to obey the law on this end of Pennsylvania Avenue as well as on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue. And we are not doing that. Now, what else has been redacted? There's been redactions relative to ongoing investigations. Now, do we want to let the people that the Justice Department is investigating know all about the ongoing investigations? I don't think the public interest is served by that. Whether somebody is guilty or not should be determined by the jury in a trial. That's what the American system is, and that's what a lot of the Bill of Rights protects. You also have a protection against people who are peripherally involved in that. And that they were just on the edges of this. They were interviewed, and nothing came of the interview because they didn't have any evidence on what was being investigated. But there's a character assassination squad running around this town that even if you were on the periphery and went and voluntarily talked to the FBI or Mr. Mueller's team, you know, you're going to end up having your good name and your reputation smeared even though you didn't do anything. So this is definitely an overreach. Those redactions, ended up being justified redactions, and I can understand the reluctance on the part of the Attorney General or anybody else that watches the way this institution and the people who work here operate, that anything that is supposed to not get out in the public realm will get out in the public realm with a leak. And if this place weren't as leaky as a sieve, I would not be opposed to what the chairman is doing because I've stood up for oversight during my entire career in this body. But it is leaky as a sieve. And I think what we're doing here is forcing the Attorney General to break the law, to place in jeopardy innocent people who are not involved in any of the things that Mr. Mueller ended up investigating and shaming ourselves in the process. My time is up.